Hey there, Wargamers, and welcome back to another Wargames Delivered video. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to visit us at wargamesdelivered.com to get the paints, miniatures, and supplies used in this video, and also to refer a friend. You guys will both get a $10 coupon, and with that, let's get into the video. In this video, I will show you how I batch paint my miniatures. We have done a video on this in the past, but in our last batch painting video, we painted some B-1 battle droids from Star Wars Legion, which don't have too much detail on them, so I figured I'd make this video on how to paint more detailed minis in a batch format. The key to batch painting miniatures is using speed and efficiency to get your army done fast and still pull off a decent paint job along the way. So to start this video out, I based these guys with a bit of a light gray to white zenithal highlight, being very generous with the white highlight to get the best result out of our speed paint here. We'll be starting off with Gravelord Gray and a bit of the speed paint medium on these guys, and we're looking to cover all of the uniforms on the squad here except for the pants. You can also paint a few of the cadet hats as well if you'd like for a bit of variation in your army. As always, when you're working with a zenithal highlight in speed paints, try to have a bit of matte white and light gray nearby to recreate your base coat just in case you need to fix any mistakes before moving on to the next step. Moving on to our next step, we're going to switch over to High Lord Blue and the mixing medium, of course, to cover all of the helmets and pants on our squad. We're going for an early war Fallschirmjäger color scheme here, so that's why we're using a very light blue here. Just like army painter's washes, you'll want to use your brush here while painting to push any excess paint away into the recessed or shadowed areas of the mini. Always keep this in mind when using speed paints. Next up, we are going to switch over to Grim Black to paint all of the boots on the squad. You can also paint some of the canteens and gun holsters on some of the models with this color, again for just a bit of variation between your squads. And when you're doing a smaller step like this, you can opt to use water instead of the speed paint medium just for quickness and efficiency. Just be aware that it will kind of change the flow that you're getting used to with using the medium. And now we're going to move on to a few smaller details, so we'll do these next colors as one large step, starting with Camo Cloak here. Use this paint on all of the ammo straps and any grenades that are left unpainted in your squad. And with the following steps in the video, it may be easier for you to switch over to a smaller brush just to work on those more fine details on the model, or any brush that you can get that gets to a fine tip. That's really what you're looking for out of your brush, is really maintain good control. Quickly moving on to our next paint here, we will switch over to Pallid Bone, and we'll use this to paint all of the unpainted canteens on the squad, as well as any backpacks and Panzerfaust that may be on the unit. For any newcomers to the channel, thank you for stopping by, first of all. Feel free to check out the top link in the description to enter the giveaway attached to this video. We have giveaways attached to all of our videos on the channel, and they end the following Sunday of the week that they premiere. So keep that in mind. Feel free to check in at any time and enter in some giveaways and win some prizes. And finally, moving on to Hardened Leather, we'll use this paint to paint all of the entrenching tools on the unit as well as all of the stocks on the guns. You can also use this color to paint the straps of the guns as well. If you like a bit of variation in color from the stock of the guns, simply mix Hardened Leather and Pallid Bone about a 1-to-1 ratio for a lighter leather tone. We will be adding metallics to certain areas of the guns, so keep that in mind and try to leave those bits of the guns bare so it's easier to find them later on when we move on to that step. If you do make any mistakes on areas that are going to be metallic later on, don't worry about cleaning them up with the matte white or your base coat mix. We'll go ahead and get to those with the metallics. Those will cover them up with 2 coats quite easily. For our final speed paint step here, we are going to switch on to Crusader Skin to paint all of the faces and hands of our squad. Before you do this step, I would recommend going back with Grim Black, Pallid Bone, and Hardened Leather and painting all of the exposed hair on each of the minis. Again, if you have any excess paint like I do on the hand here, just go ahead and wipe that away, move it on to a different area, and that should even it out before it dries. With those steps done, we will move on to the metallic line for a moment here, starting out with gunmetal. This is an excellent base coat color for any silver metallic you might be working on. 2 thin coats will give you a nice dark silver that you can build up from. Try to be very careful when you're doing this step around your speed painted areas, and also use good brush control around the back side of the gun facing the mini. It can be tricky trying to fix metallics on areas that we have already painted with the speed paints, so just keep that in mind when you're doing this step. Now we will add some definition to the shadows of those metallic areas of the guns that we just painted using the gunmetal. We're going to switch over to dark tone wash here for a moment and use a liberal amount on all of these areas to really give them a black metal look. And also be sure to use this color on all of your metallic areas to give them a touch of realism. You could also go in with the effect paint dry rust for a quick rusty effect on certain areas. And lastly here, we will switch over to the acrylic line with matte black, and with this color we are looking to paint all of the small straps on the unit, like the straps around the head holding up the helmet. You can also pick out any straps on the canteens, grenades, and the entrenching tools for a bit more detail. You may need 2 thin coats to get a solid finish on this color, but after this step, all the details on the squad are finished, and in the next video, we will show how to varnish and base coat your squad. All in all, this took me about 3 hours to paint these guys, which is pretty good for a squad of 5, for me at least. And so stick around for tomorrow's video to see how I go about batch basing and varnishing the squad to get it 100% ready for the battlefield. Thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more painting tutorials, and also be sure to check out the top link in the description to take part in the giveaway below. Thanks again, and happy wargaming!